So any comments? I'm always looking forward to comments before we go on to what we'll be talking about as the next topic that Brock doesn't even know we're going to be talking about.
Ah, fuck. I mean, sorry. Shit, damn. Well.
All right, so what it is that I want to talk about is I want to talk about like, you always run into that situation where people are like control is bad, combo is bad, being too aggro is bad, not doing enough is bad, having too much stuff going on is bad, having too little stuff going on is bad. Mm-hmm. And what do people think like Commander is supposed to be? Do people think you're supposed to just sort of sit down and like twiddle your thumbs or like
be efficient? No,
yeah,
that's not the point of Commander.
It's not a game where it's like everybody whip out your dick and lay it on the table and just see what happens. That's not a game. It's actually called like that's something that
Standard.
No, that's standard is whip out your dick, hit somebody with it, and see who hits harder.
No, standard is I have Geist of Saint-Traft in my deck. I think I win.
Not anymore.
Now, still.
Not nearly as much.
Oh. Well,
I mean, green red and green red black are.
You said those decks are terrible.
I do think they're terrible. I think by old school standards they are, but we're not talking about standard.
Anyway. EDH.
Going back to Commander, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but the game is supposed to be about being a little more casual. It's about being a little more relaxed.
Well, I've heard it's also like a form of like expression. People build decks a certain way because that's the way they are. And, you know, just people also have their opinions about things like that because of the way they are. You know, Ryan doesn't like playing against combo. I don't like playing against super control because, you know, a lot of my decks I almost always have to do one spell a turn, and I always want to make it the most backbreaking spell. So it's really backbreaking when my spell gets countered by somebody who just always holds up 3 mana.
But isn't really the reality of the game though that everybody's going to find different enjoyment?
Yeah.
And that's really the key.
Well, yeah.
You're going to sit down and like what you think is necessarily bad. What about it makes it bad? Like there's nothing inherently wrong. Let's start with a couple of the archetypes.
Okay.
There's nothing inherently wrong with combo. Why is there nothing inherently wrong with combo?
No, nothing. Because, I mean, if you want to win, be my guest.
Well, not to mention.
But here's the thing: if you got your combo off, then that's me losing the game. That's not me. That's not you winning. That's me saying I couldn't stop you.
Yeah. That actually is that's kind of what I'm trying to bring up when I bring this up is
my deck wasn't interactive enough to win the game before you could combo out.
Correct. That's the part I really want to focus on when we talk about that the combo aspect. When you're sitting down against a player who you know is playing combo, who the rest of the table knows is playing combo, if there's only one or maybe even 2 of those players on the table and you're not dealing with that player.
Something's wrong.
Yeah, basically means that you wanted to play cards that had negative value at that point. I mean, combo players don't just sit down and automatically win the game, except maybe Niv Mizzet players who just happen to fall into 4th turn Niv Mizzet combo, you lose.
Or Splinter Twin. But
well, yeah, that's another, of course. Oops, got there. Or not Kiki Jiki.
Splinter Twin Kiki Jiki is Deceiver Exart, Pester. Holy shit.
There's just too many cards that do that. But for the most part, like I have problems. I will admit I have some problems when it's like a 2-card, just ultra gay combo. Yeah. It's like there's just too many.
I make a million guys. Good game.
Yeah, that was like negative fun. But when it's like a hard to set up like I'll even accept some 3-card combos. But when you're like the 5th card for your combo. That is like the name of the game.
Like you guys seen the Open the Vaults from Steve where he just like got all the artifacts putting charge counters on shit. Well, I have a Melik deck that I actually found a way to combo out, and at first it was Isochron Scepter with Brainstorm on it, so I would always put back like Call to Mind so I could copy it, getting back Mystic Retrieval and Time Warp. So every turn I would always get back a Time Warp, but then I got Mirari in the deck. So it literally is like a 4-card combo.
and that is perfectly acceptable. I mean, I've heard people bitch like, oh, he comboed off. It's like, you worked for that combo. At the very least, you had to search for those cards. Maybe you lucked into starting with those cards, but I want to know who's letting you keep a Mirari on the table.
That's always the best when the play group at like Ryan's house or something is just like, it's happened like 3 times where I've had the Mirari out and I've won because of it, but the thing was nobody else saw it except for the person who was out of the game. Like, by the time, it was like a 5-player game, by the time Demir died and I had Mirari out, and like, people were like, do I counter that? Like, no, just counter the things he plays. All right, okay, all right, gotcha. And then like, I just won because of it, but then
That never works, by the way.
Then I played a Mirari, and then like, they're like, let's destroy something. Like Sylvan Primordial. Should I get Mirari or the Ley Line? Let's kill the Ley Line. I'm like, fuck,
All right.
fine.
Cool. Yeah, that to me actually seems to be the bigger problem. Those people who complain about combo, oftentimes
they fall face first into it.
Yeah, they're the people who don't try to stop it. I mean, you'll listen to me when I'm in the game. When I'm in the game, I will dog it. You'll hear like me say all the time, kill the combo player. Why aren't you tagging the combo player? Get rid of the combo player. So first thing that's going to come out of my mouth.
End the game.
Right. I'm, end of the day afterwards, I'm not going to go to the combo player and be like, you're a douchebag for playing. Well, I might actually still say that, but it's not in seriousness. Like, we did a league here a couple of months ago. Mm-hmm. At the final table were 3 combo decks and 2 aggro decks. But no, I guess actually technically Dave wasn't combo.
He was playing Kalia. How is that combo?
I feel sometimes
I put in Iona and named Blue.
To be fair, didn't he swing Master of Cruelties?
Oh no, he never did that. I told him about he could do that, but he put it in his deck. I never saw him do that. But
I thought he did it at the final table. And somebody stopped the trigger.
Me, Maelstrom Wanderer, Dave playing Kalia, Jeff playing Riku, Steve playing Horde of Notions, and then Galen playing Prime Speakers Zagana.
Yes.
And because of past games, I automatically knew that Jeff could combo out in pretty ridiculous fashion.
But it was much slower to do it.
But it was like to the point where like he had none of his pieces and then all of his pieces all at once. Yeah. So and then I never saw Galen combo out, but I did hear he did. And in the past games, I kind of had to. Nobody else at the table was like a threat, so I had to kill him. So that's what I did. I turned and I looked at Galen and I said, I got to kill you first. And then
what was Galen's response?
I understand.
Yeah.
And he fought very hard, like to the point where he had 5 lands, like 3 forests, 2 islands, and a Simic Signet, right? I think it was. And he's like, no, it was like all islands and 1 forest or something. But he mystical tutored for a counterspell, and then cracked the clue stone to get the counterspell to counter something. Like he stone drained himself.
Yeah, to stop himself.
I mean, he was playing like Lotus Petals and stuff, so I had to assume he had a combo in there. But like,
no, he did. He'd said afterwards that like he was, I think, 1 or 2 cards out from the combo at that point. Not or 1 or 2 turns out from the combo. So you hit it at like exactly the right time. I was crippled during the time. Like I had Horde. Somebody blew up one of my lands or one of my artifacts, and that was like the end of the game for me. I was sitting in the corner like crying.
It was fun. I got to play a Phyrexian Metamorph on a Soul Ring, and they like laughed at me and said, "You really need that, don't you?" I'm like, other Soul Ring, my general.
But that's a really good example of like, first of all, if you're playing combo, you should have that mindset. Like when players turn and come at you, it doesn't matter what you say during the game. You can say anything during the game. After the game, hard feelings have to disappear. Like that's one of those. That's I guess most of what this topic is about, and where we're going to ultimately wrap it up at. But you got to have that mindset, while you're playing it. You can act like whatever you want. But you understand, like the players who know that you're just gonna turn over cards and then the game is over are gonna try to stop you from doing that because they're gonna want to play the game so they can win. And that's really the focus of the game, and that's really the thing I think a lot of people lose sight of is that when you sit down to a game of Commander, the game is about like playing to win. That you don't stop playing to win.
Well, Yeah, you play that Zedru deck to tie.
No, there's a win combo as
Yeah,
well.
I know.
When I played it though, I didn't gain enough life to be able to win the game. I was at like 30. I was at 38, and somebody was like 45.
Well, like I said, like one of my EDH decks, I made just to have a fast game. I didn't make it a win. I don't think I actually won a game with that deck, even though it's extremely powerful. I just want a fast game. I want an intense. I want words flying back and forth. I want people to look at the board and say, "How do we deal with this?"
That's why when people complain about you just like super control.
Yeah,
I believe it has its place though. Super
does.
control is like
it
that.
stops me from running the table.
Yeah, it does. It's there to prohibit the all I'm going to do is play as many good efficient beaters as I can and try to get there. It does horribly against something like reanimation decks. Because ultimately they cast the spell, you counter it. They basically get to cast the spell again. You have to counter that again, and you're basically running out of control magic for the matchup. So it just like in a regular game, all these archetypes actually go forward to make the game even better. There seems to be really 0 point in wasting your time complaining about it. Because going right to where my primary point is, and where what I'm trying to roundabout see if we're in agreement here, is like, isn't the game supposed to be a game about like playing to win and playing to do things that you wouldn't normally do? Like anyone can play to win in standard.
Yeah.
And when you win standard,
There's no group hug in standard.
well, no, but then there's also no sense of like accomplishment in standard. You don't win a standard match and you most of the time, I'd say about 9 out of 10 matches, your matches end with like, and I just got there with enough creatures and the game was over. Or Geist of St. Traft is just so powerful I don't have to work.
But sometimes
to win.
it's Geist is so powerful that card can suck my deck because I beat it. But
Yeah. But when you're in this game is all about like making circumstances that normally would not happen. And that's what you get. You get to play a game, you get to play a format where you see cards you wouldn't normally see. You get to play a format where everybody is theoretically working to win. Even the guy playing group hug, he's still going to try to either insurrection or
some people
win
sometimes
somehow.
they just want a fun game. They just want a game where people do crazy things. And like,
But then they've won. They've ultimately won that way.
Like as an example, what's the 8/8 trample for 4 that when it comes into play, each other player gets to search their deck for a creature and put it into play?
Oh, I don't remember.
The Giants,
yeah,
right?
But
so like the last EH game I played, I was playing my Jund deck. The Giants hit the table. So and this is like a 6-player game. So then we all like looked at each other and we're like, all right, put them all face down, all that, because they all enter at the same time. I chose Sire Insanity, right? Because I want the game to be really difficult. Somebody else chose a clone. And I think it was Ryan. I had to explain to him that he couldn't clone one of our creatures because they were entering at the same time.
He has to clone that guy.
Something else, and he either could clone like a 1/1 or the guy, and so he cloned the guy. And now, here's the point where I want to have more fun.
And you got a clone.
I chose shit. What was it? I chose Master of Cruelties. And
that's fun.
I chose Master Cruelties and I put it in, and like I was having fun, right? But next to me was somebody playing the red green, the elf girl from like Future Sight or something. But and they chose like Sylvan Primordial into like Avatar Slaughter. I'm like, that's okay, fine, whatever. And then like the next person chose like Sower of Temptation into like Avenger, and then Ryan chose Clone and then so all this crazy shit was about to happen. And then the group hug player chose not Godhead of Law, but Ixodron. So that's what I'm saying. Like they just want that moment where that just happened. Where like it's about to get intense. Ixodron. So I guess it defines your definition of winning. If you want to have fun, then and you made a deck that was fun, that's winning. If you actually want to physically win the table, then that's winning.
But
so it's a form of expression to the point where, yeah,
and that's my point is it's kind of in a lot of ways it's kind of wrong to take that step and just hate on people because they're playing combo or they're playing control, to be like, I just don't want to play against you. I mean, I've done it myself. I've sat down and I've thought, I don't really want to play against combo decks, so I'm not going to play. Usually though, there's 3 combo decks and I'd be the only person not playing combo, so I'm going to opt out in that particular case. But at the same time, I mean, I'm not going to, if there's a player sitting down and he's got a combo deck, I'm not going to like opt out of the game.
Well, also think about it from the combo perspective. Like the decks that I know have combos in it and primarily would win through those, and I know other people know that, I don't like playing those decks because I always feel like a target. Like I like feeling like a target when I can defend myself, but I'm never not a target, and I can't like defend myself. Now I saw Roderick do something really, really like he just had all protection. Like he knew he was a combo deck, so he was a combo deck. He played like cards like Glacial Chasm and like Maze of Ith on crack, Mystifying Maze, and then Deserted Temple to untap the Mystifying Maze and the Maze of Ith. And so like he understood that what it took to win for him to win was he was going to be a big target.
And he played around it.
Yeah. So like.
All right. Well then,
that's
I think
them having fun.
I think ultimately we're pretty much in agreement here that like it's
Commanders for fun.
Yeah,
and
it's
for
supposed
winning.
to be for fun and for winning. Obviously, whatever your definition of winning is. So yeah, it was good. That's a good discussion.